AM. MOM Radio and the Pipe Bomb Radio Network present Not Your Mama's Radio Show with your hosts, former WWE superstars and two men that are always on a mission, Oscar and Sir Mo.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Not Mama's Radio Show, and here are your hosts, Oscar and Sir Mo.
Felix, how you doing? Another fun-filled week. How you doing, man?
I've been doing good. Been working hard with a couple of projects, trying to get some things put together to kind of work to everybody's advantage, not only mine, yours and Mo's as well, and working with another WWE legend I'll talk about a little bit later in the show.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm doing great. How you all doing?
Great. Right. Good, man. Good to hear from you, Felix.
Likewise, sir.
Mo, how are you, young man?
I'm all right, Chubb. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. Who the hell you calling Chubb? I'm doing all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm losing weight. I'm on a crack diet. When you see me, you ain't even gonna recognize me.
You on a crack diet?
I'm on a crack diet.
That mean you smoking crack?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. That's the only way you're gonna get this weight off. My name is Oscar.
I wouldn't say that.
I know a lot of fat ass crackheads.
My name is Oscar, and I am a crack addict.
Well, you better go ahead and get on that WWE rehabilitation plan, son.
Yeah, well, I'm going to call him up and be like, my name is Oscar, I'm a crack addict. 1 month ticket to paradise, please.
Hey, you know they're going to send you to the ghetto rehab, though, right?
Oh, yeah, more than likely. I'm not going nowhere close to what they said to other people, so I ain't even tripping. I know I'm going right downtown Gary.
Yeah, you go have those powdered eggs for breakfast, where everybody else has those real eggs Benedict.
I know. I might as well stay home and eat the ice cubes out my own freezer. That's a
you gonna get treated like you live in Ferguson, Missouri, son.
Yeah. How about that, man?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's national news, ain't it?
It's sad. Yeah, it is. It's just sad what the world's coming to. But on to, go ahead, man.
It's really embarrassing.
No, and just want to let you guys know that we are now joined by the one and only Miss Dreamy Mimi. How you doing, Miss Mimi?
I'm good. How you doing, Felix?
Doing wonderful. Thank you so much. And now you can come in and help me referee. You can help me referee between these two guys. I'm kidding.
Hey, Dreamy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you been this week?
I'm good. How was your day?
It's been pretty good.
Good. I was just telling Oscar that I think that the Ferguson, Missouri stuff going on right now is kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's sad, for sure.
For those people that don't know, bring everybody up to speed. What exactly happened in Ferguson, and why is everybody up in arms?
Well, this young African-American male was killed by the police department there, apparently after he robbed a local convenience store of a Black & Mild cigar.
And they killed him for that.
Yeah, well, they say that he charged them and made threats to charge the officers and So they shot him and they killed him, you know. And so, of course, the community has been in an uproar and rioting for a few days now. And then, yeah, I want to say yesterday, it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, another young African-American black male was killed by a couple of St. Louis police officers, you know, as if the Ferguson stuff wasn't enough. So the reason I said it's embarrassing is it's like, first of all this tragic stuff happens, you know. It goes back to the 60s, but more recently, the thing with Trayvon Martin was kind of, you know, out the way, and you know, all this rioting and the stupid stuff that goes along with it, you know. Then everybody that thinks it's stupid, and the people are idiots and stupid. And when they say the people, what's embarrassing about it is it's 85-90% African Americans doing all the dumb stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then it gives everybody else a reason to pull up other stupid things that's going on in the world. Like I saw something earlier today where this black lady set this white kid or white baby on fire with a blowtorch, you know, and then that begs the question of, okay, why in this story where this white baby just got killed by this black woman, why it didn't get the attention, or why it people rioting over this, you know? So it just to me, it just continues to create more and more animosities between the races, you know, and then the way they play it out in the media, it drives me crazy, man.
Not to mention the fact that when they start doing all of the rioting and stupid stuff, it takes away from the story at hand. You know, it takes away from the fact that this young man got shot 6 times. You know, if he charged you, if he tussled with you, he didn't have a gun. So
right.
What justifies you shooting this young man 6 times? But see, it takes the light off of that, because then everybody else want to start doing stupid stuff. And then that's what becomes the story.
Of course. And then here's a kicker. Supposedly, I'm on the radio. Supposedly, maybe in my truck. Supposedly, the police video that was released showing the kid in the store robbing the store.
Mm-hmm.
The police had not seen the video prior to the kid getting shot, so they had no knowledge that this kid was involved in this apparent, you know, convenience store robbery. Whereas they try to portray it as, you know, the kid was a suspect in this robbery, and that's why he was being stopped in the first place, when it's not true. He was stopped and he was shot and killed long before they even knew he had anything to do with the incident at the convenience store. You know, and so the story's changed several times. You know, they just had this young African-American young man, his last name is Wilson, Davon Wilson or something, come forward to say, yeah, that Michael Brown did, you know, threaten and attack the police officer. Okay, I agree. He might have threatened and he might have attacked the police officer. But as Dreamy Mimi said, he didn't have a weapon on him. I mean, there are other things that they could have used. They could have used tasers.
Yep.
You know, I mean, there are other things that they could have used to de-escalate the situation. You know, but it's always shoot first and ask questions later.
Well, you would think that we would all learn from Los Angeles back in, about 20 some odd years ago, way more than that, with the whole Rodney King situation, where the police officers were caught on tape I mean, brutally beating that man for no reason. He could not defend himself. He just kept on getting beat. And then when the evidence came out and the whole world saw it and the officers got acquitted, they tried to burn L.A. down to the ground. I mean, I was out there and saw firsthand, not even on the news, but in the street, the way those people rioted. Now, you know, a lot of people can say, that the black people acting like animals and they shouldn't have did that and they shouldn't have did this. But, when you look at it from both sides, and yeah, they were dead wrong. Let me preface it by saying that. That's no way to solve a problem. But people get tired. People get tired of having no voice, having no say-so. They march and march and march. They vote these people in office. The police are there to protect and serve, but they run around these cities like some organized gang. People get tired, and they're going to do whatever it is they can do to lash out. And unless we get a hold on these situations, we are going to be looking at some bad times in America. And I mean, not even in America. If you watch these shocking video shows, this stuff ain't nothing new. It goes on around the world. It goes on in other countries worse than it goes on here.
Yeah. But see, we have to learn how to do things smart and stop being so. I mean, our pastor made the comment that out there in the city that it happened in Ferguson, the population is like, it's either 85% or 90% African American.
It is.
Okay, so all of the injustice and all of the things that go on in your city, you don't complain about it. If you're not going out and voting, because you have the power. If it's 85% blacks out there, then you put in office who has your best interest at heart. But instead, we wait till something happens and go about it in rage and anger, and we just don't come against things smart.
Yeah, but you know what?
The whole problem, wait 1 second. The whole problem with that, the whole thing with the voting and voting for people who claim they got your best interest, is everybody who steps up to the microphone running for some damn office claim they got your best interest at the heart. You don't know that's your brother or your cousin or your neighbor. You don't know what to believe. These people know exactly. Let me tell you how you win elections. Elections are about two things. Elections about assigning blame for something, making you afraid of something, and telling you who to blame for it. That's how you kill your opponent. That's how you win elections. But most elected officials that we elect are just in it for what they can get when they get in that office. They can give less to the damn about your problems.
That's true.
Well, here's another thing too, and I don't want to make it sound. I don't want it to sound like people are ignorant, people are uneducated, whatever. But see, the thing about this rioting stuff, the people that are smart, level-headed, clear-headed, or whatever, that's got something going for them, they're not the people out there doing this crap.
Exactly, right.
You know what I'm saying? They're the people that are standing back trying to calm situations and be a little more organized about it. They're not the people out there that's doing all the dumb stuff. The people out there that's doing all the dumb stuff are people out there that have already made it up in their mind that they don't have nothing to lose.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They don't have a thing to lose, and everything in the game with busting the windows out of this store and going in there and taking this stuff, and because they're not doing it. I don't care what anybody says. The people that's doing this stupid stuff, they're not doing it to make a political statement. They're not doing it to say, you know what, as a black people, we're tired of being treated this way. Because the people that are tired of being treated this way will speak out and say exactly that they're tired of it. The people that's doing all the dumb stuff, the rioting and the looting, those are people that are misplaced in society, don't have anything going for them, don't have anything to lose. Probably 50 or 60% of them are either dope addicts or dope dealers. You know what I mean? And they've got a totally different agenda than really. They're just using the Michael Brown shooting as an excuse to do all this ignorant stuff. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something. I mean, it's something that people, you know, in power have to get together and get a hold on. You know, a dialogue got to be open. But even when you get a forum to open a dialogue, people got to be willing to come and speak out and air their grievances. And when they do, they can't air their grievances on deaf ears. You know, Barack Obama made a lot of promises when he was coming in office, and even though he couldn't deliver on a lot of the stuff he said, but that's not all his fault. Every time that man want to go right, the Republican Tea Party Congress, you know, slants him to the left. You know, he want to give health care to people that can afford it. They bash that. You know, he want to give food stamps and welfare to people who don't abuse the system or fraud the system but really need it. They want to cut that out. And see, when they do these things and they frustrate the people and you starve the people, that's when you're creating a race of criminals. Hungry people are going to do anything they have to do to feed themselves, to feed their children, and to get medicine and medication. They're going to do whatever it takes. So why rob the people from the resources who you're not providing jobs for the people? That's one thing, okay? You know, if you're providing jobs, you're not providing jobs that people can do. You're making it tougher and rougher for kids to come out of high school to go to college by jacking up college because college is, you know, education and healthcare in every country in the free market should be free. That's something that everybody should be able to attain without a problem, but that's not the way it is. They make these things unattainable. They substantially educate our kids when they are in school. Then they wonder why new crooks emerge every day in every generation. I mean, the whole thing is a setup, but it's our fault because we as a people, we need to all rise up sensibly and just say enough is enough. We're not going to pay $6 a gallon for gas. We're not going to pay $200 a month to watch television. We're not going to go shop at those stores, you know, where they raise the price of bread to $5 a loaf. We're just not going to do it. And we're going to speak up and speak out. And if we did that unified, things would have to change.
Yeah, I agree, Senator Oscar. You know, the part of it that irks my nerve is that it is already bad enough that we have such poor race relations in this country, and then when stupid stuff like that happens, it further divides the races because everybody are taking sides now. Whereas, to me, don't say, well, are they doing it again? Dumbass black people tearing up their own community. You don't see us white people tearing up our community when somebody white gets killed. No, I don't. But you don't see black people running in schoolhouses shooting up 30 and 40 motherfuckers either. No, I don't. You know what I mean? I just hate that the races are so divided, man, over this issue, and it always comes back. It's black, and it's not black. If you look at the people that's marching in Ferguson, Missouri, there's as many white people out there marching as there is black people that thinks that it was wrong that as Dreamy Mimi said, it is wrong whether the kid is black or white. Six bullets in a kid that had no weapon, Come on, that is a travesty right there. We can just take the color out of it.
Yeah.
We take totally take race out of it and say, okay, we're talking about 6 bullets in the body of a young teenager or young male adult that didn't have a weapon.
Yep.
That didn't have. To me, that is one of two things: either poor training by that police officer, or I'm a cop, I have a badge, I have a gun, and you do what I say, or I'm going to kill your ass. It's that plain and simple. It makes no sense to put 6 bullets in somebody that has no weapon. None. When you should have other, I mean, there's pepper spray, there's tasers, you know. Come on, aren't you guys also taught, hand-to-hand combat?
Mm-hmm.
When did that not become an option anymore? I can understand if the guy had a gun or had pulled out a knife. I can understand that. Like the guy that supposedly got shot yesterday, he was wielding a knife. Yeah. Telling the cops, come on, kill me, shoot me, kill me, kill me. Does that not say to you when somebody's standing there in front of you with a knife telling you, come on, shoot me, kill me, does that not say to you that person right there is in distress and needs help, that they have a death wish?
Disarm that individual and give him the help he needs.
Right. I mean, come on now. Is that not what that's saying? That this person has a death wish. He's either trying to be a martyr, or he's too cowardice to kill himself. So what does he do? So no, I'm not going to commit suicide and go to hell. I'm just going to grab a knife, go out in public, and drink some beers out in public and act irrational. And then when the cops come, I'm going to tell them to kill me, shoot me, go ahead and kill me. And I'm going to approach them when they tell me not to. And I know the cops that I know in this area, me being black, and I get a couple white cops, they're going to kill me. Come on, man.
Yep.
And then it further divides the races, and that kills me, man, because, I do a lot of business on Facebook, and I hate getting on Facebook, and that's all that's going on. It's race this, race that, Why ain't they covering this story about this white guy, this white veteran that just got beat up and killed by 7 African-American, males beat up this veteran, this white veteran? Why ain't that national news? Or why aren't people writing about that? Okay. All right, it was a white veteran got killed by 7 black kids. All right, why aren't the white people out there rioting then? I mean, or why don't black people riot when a black man kills another black man? Don't they realize that a black man killing a black man is no excuse to riot? Yeah. They can't use it as a viable excuse. It don't make sense. But when a white man kills a black man, oh man, now's our chance. You know what I mean? But it's not the smart, educated, level-headed people that's doing that. It's only ignorant, simple-minded people that have nothing to lose. Ain't nobody out there with a $60,000, $70,000 house breaking into stores and looting. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no homeowners out there doing that. Those aren't the kind of people that's getting arrested. And then over in Ferguson, Missouri, the 90% of the people that's been arrested for doing stuff are from out of town. They're from out of town. They're not even residents of Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
So you got. Come on, man. It's kind of like being a big city drug dealer and move to a little small city and you take over. It happens all the time. This dude right here from Chicago go move to a small city like Ferguson, and take over the drug market there. I mean, come on. That's all that mess is. And then the rest of us has to hear it and deal with it on a day-to-day basis. You know, and it frustrates me, man, because what happens more so than anything is that people that you work with and you do a lot of business with, Mimi,
mm-hmm.
these are the same people that you're cool with. You know what I'm saying? You sit around, you chat and everything with, you know, either at work, at home, or on Facebook or whatever. But then when something tragic like this happens and they start spilling their opinions,
yep.
You start seeing the real them.
Yeah, the real, yep.
And then you start like, you don't like them anymore because their opinion, you know, borders on them being racist. Yep. You're like, oh man, come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. To all our wrestling fans out there, yeah, this is still a wrestling show, but we do have hot topics that are going around this country. We're incensed about it. We're infused about it. We're using this platform to do our part, so we want everybody to understand that. Now, on a lighter note, on a lighter topic, next Friday is the birthday of the one and only Michael Jackson. Another non-wrestling related subject, but there is a reason why I'm bringing this up. Michael Jackson's birthday is August 29th, which is next Friday. And to celebrate that birthday here in the city of Gary, where we live in Maryville, Indiana, which is next to Gary, and Gary is the birthplace of Michael Jackson, there is going to be an explosion in this town, an extravaganza of epic proportions. It's going to be a 3-day tribute to the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, who sadly passed away some years ago. And for a lot of people, I'm going to start this by saying this. A lot of people are influenced by Michael Jackson, and not just Michael Jackson, by the whole Jackson family. Now, as a person who is an entertainer myself, I started out as a rap artist. I had a lot of influences, your Run DMCs, your Houdinis, your Grandmaster Flashes, and all that, and your Dougie Fresh, and I mentioned all those. But when I thought about it, when I really thought about it, my first influences to even interest me in entertainment had to be when I was about 9, 10 years old, seeing the Jackson 5. I mean, the Jackson 5 was something we'd never seen before as kids. The Jackson 5 was you know, ABC and Ben and I Want You Back and all those songs that, I mean, you know, I couldn't sing or dance when I was little, so, you know, being an entertainer was out of the question, but you just had to admire it. Seeing them on TV, seeing the way they dance, seeing the way they sing, seeing them on interviews. I mean, hell, these guys had a Saturday morning cartoon.
And I loved it, man.
How cool could that be? How cool is that, right?
Yeah. I love that.
The Jackson 5 cartoon?
Yeah, I love that.
I mean, it was the whole Jackson 5. They had a little snake that was one of their pets with it. I mean, it was just they get in these situations. Then at the end of the cartoon, they'd end with a song, and it was just the coolest thing ever. So anyway, they're gonna have what they're calling a tribute to Michael Jackson out here, and Mo with his Bully Mania and Bully Bash organization and presentation. He's coming out here, and we are going to be part of the opening ceremony Thursday, I believe. It's going to be Thursday coming up with an opening ceremony. Then on Saturday, we're going to take to the stage and talk to the kids and, you know, about the anti-bullying and about how Michael Jackson influenced, you know, us. You know, I mean, and, you know, indirectly how Michael Jackson influenced a lot of us that your dreams could come true. If there's nothing else that the Jackson 5 didn't teach us and that Michael Jackson didn't teach us when he went on to that, you know, the word phenomenal doesn't even describe his career. Michael Jackson did things that nobody else in the music business has ever done and probably never will do. 100 years from now, people will still be talking about Michael Jackson and the Jackson family. They are that iconic. So something like that, it was a no-brainer. Hey, Captain Jackson need me? Oh, man. Yeah. I mean, I would win if it was in New Zealand if they asked me, but luckily it's 5 minutes from my house. But that's okay. So it's going to be a great weekend, and we are stoked and looking forward to being a part of it. It can't get here fast enough. Plus, Mo's coming in town, and Mo, I got you on the phone. I want to remind you to bring the popcorn. We're going to make some s'mores, and we have to do our annual The Watching of the Dustin Frazier DVD so we can hate on it. Even though he's gone, we're still going to do our annual get together thing. We have to do that.
Okay. So we can hate on it, huh?
Oh, so we can hate on it, definitely. Because now, Nelson is up in heaven with Michael Jackson right now going, yeah, dog, them two ain't wrapped too tight, but they going to do a good job, man. You got two good guys coming to celebrate your birthday, dog.
Puff, pass, Michael. Puff, pass.
Yeah, exactly. So it's gonna be a great thing. Really, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through the week with y'all two.
Girl, it's gonna be something else. It's gonna be something else.
We're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to fight, I'm going to kick him out the house once or twice, but other than that, it's going to be a good time.
Hey, you know what, man? We have got to have that conversation in front of Dreamy about the Hall of Fame weekend, man. I just want to see her reaction to the Hall of Fame celebration.
The Hall of Fame celebration?
Yeah, the New England Hall of Fame weekend.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to tell her all about it.
Yeah, all about it.
Yeah, all about it. Sometimes I wish you would shut up.
I'm excited, though, man. I the goosebumps ain't gone away yet. I'm so excited about being a part of this.
I'm excited about being a part of it. I'm excited that this is just real news. This is the first time you're coming to me. I done travel to your house no matter where you live at 1,000 times. This is the first time you getting in the truck. You was going everywhere on the planet when you finally get in the truck coming to my house. I am so excited to have you, man, for half the week or however long you stayed. So
you
come on down. It's gonna be a good time. And don't forget to bring that DVD.
I did try to get a hold of Lori, guys. I'm letting you know I did leave a voicemail. I've been trying for the last few minutes to get through, and hopefully she got my message, and will attempt to call in. Otherwise, I'll try to call back here in a few minutes.
Okay. You know, I'm glad to hear, Fitz, because the only thing that's going to be missing from this whole thing is Fitz is way out there in California, and it don't look like he's going to be able to make it. Not Your Mama's radio show would be there and be complete with Felix the Almeida if he was in the house.
Right. Right. We got to have the master controller with us, man.
No, it don't even feel complete already. We're not able to get our man Phil. We got to get the whole crew together on something, not just a part of it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I definitely try my best to help make sure you guys have a great show, that everybody's coming on when they're supposed to come on, and I do what I can to help get you guys out there and continue to do my best as we have some special guests in store for you guys coming up very soon. Obviously, Oscar knows what I'm talking about. We've
been getting rumblings. Mo Felix is working on some real big things. He's close to signing a couple of names on my guest wish list, and I am just really, 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 really excited. Really, really, really excited about it.
Which is this is just a question in my mind. Talking to Felix. So, yes, as far as the Not Your Mama's radio program goes, how are we doing?
You guys went up. You guys were picking it up a little bit. You guys were a little slow in the beginning. It started to pick up as we got more guests coming on, and obviously you guys peaked at the Cue Ball show, and then you kind of stumbled just a little bit with a few things that didn't go as we planned, which is fine. It happens. And as of last week, as I was talking with Austin, without a doubt, probably the most listened to show to date would have to be last week with the on-air seminar with Tugboat and Rudy Boy and the independent guys that called in and even the visit from what's his name? Forgive me, the one who created your guys' action figures.
Yes, Smash Ventura.
There you go, Smash Ventura. That one definitely took it to the next level. It actually took us to almost 1,000 downloads.
Wow.
That was definitely a very popular because it was very informative, and I have a feeling that a lot of the guys that are on the independents tuned in to hear what, because Rudy, believe it or not, Rudy may not think so, but he is definitely somebody to get great advice from, not taking nothing away from Tugboat. Tugboat's got some great advice. He's been around the business a number of years, and I'm also going to throw your guys' name in the hat because you guys have been around for 25 plus years, and yes, Oscar may not have stuck around all those years, but you know what? He always kind of dabbled in it a little bit. He knew what was going on. He always kept in contact with his guys, his men on the mission crew. So it was definitely a very informative show, by far your guys' best show to date, in my opinion, and obviously the numbers show that.
Thank you very much.
Not a problem. In fact, if it's okay, I can plug real quick.
I want to say thank you for letting us be a part of Pipe Bomb Radio, too.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Not a
really
problem. We are definitely happy to have you guys here. And as you guys have been noticing also, I just wanted to throw out a quick plug real quick. I've actually been working with WWE legend Kamala.
Right.
And his manager, who has actually been creating a book for him, and I've been trying to spread the word about his Kickstarter account to help get this book published.
Okay. Right. You're over that?
I'm sorry?
You're the guy that's over that?
I actually am working with Kamala's manager.
Oh, okay. Well, awesome, dude.
I'm trying to get the word spread out. In fact, I'm trying to work on a possibility of bringing Kamala onto the show sometime in the near future.
Okay. That would be fantastic, yeah.
You know, he's definitely very, one of the most nicest guys I've ever heard. You know, people say he's such a generous, talk about Southern hospitality. You know, he's definitely one of the nicest guys you could ever talk to.
Yeah,
wow,
he is. And he shoots it straight. You know,
he's got some great stories to tell. He's got a very, you know, his book's been forwarded by WWE legends like Mick Foley, like Jim Ross, Jerry Jarrett, pictures from the Jim Cornette collection, stories from on the road, you know, over the years. And this is not something that's going to be a bitter, you know, they did this to me, they did that. It's actually a fun, entertaining story, and I definitely would love to hear get that thing going for him and help out any way I can, and that's what I've been doing. And I've been I've been working with him to see if I can get him on your guys' show. And Kamala was recently on the Steve Austin show just recently, and we'll be on Piper's show very soon.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the Kickstarter thing. I saw the Kickstarter thing, and I think in like 2 days they were almost at $2,500 in 2 days. They got 28 days left to go. 28 days left to go. 27 today.
So actually, if you guys want to check it out, it's on. You can check out KamalaSpeaks.com. It'll take you up to the link with the Kickstarter, and pretty cool perks for the amount that you donate to. They've got it up to about $3,400 right now.
How much is the goal?
Good.
Their goal is to get to 12,000.
Okay.
So they're not doing bad. They've still got a little bit over a month to go. No, a little bit less than a month, excuse me. And you know, there's still plenty of time. You know, it's for a good cause. I mean, he's given so much to so many of us over the years and helped with a lot of the guys. And definitely one of my favorites of the opponents that the Undertaker had over the years. Those two worked magic together. I was always entertained with them.
Right. All right, guys, the show is going to get crowded in about 20 minutes or so. So, Phyllis, why don't we break the commercial? Really, we're going to come right back to you with the WWE report, because around the 8 o'clock hour, hopefully we can find Lori, but around the 8 o'clock hour, our seminars are going to start, and I do expect the queue to get really, really crowded. So cut the commercial if you can, Felix. Really, we're going to do the WWE report, and we're going to roll on.
Right.
All right, sounds good. We'll be back in just a moment, guys.
Okay.
I woke up and I had crappy feet.
Now I do have happy feet. I woke up, my gout had me yelling and screaming, got on the phone and called Dr. Freeman. Called Dr. Freeman and I went there, straight to free men foot care. I got an exam, I got my meds, now I don't have to sleep standing on my head. I got my exam and they were enhanced, and now I can walk, run, and even dance. Got my care, 'cause I went there, my feet got fixed, the Freeman foot care.
Welcome back, everybody, to Not Your Mama's Radio Show. I still get a kick out of that rap. What can I say?
Oh, my goodness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WWE Report, WWE News with the fabulous, the talented, the Midwest-voiced, Dreamy. Did he say
new
busted?
champion?
Pardon me? I'm sorry, what? What did you say?
New champion.
Let's try that again, guys.
Civil rivalry.
Okay.
I'll tell you now.
Go ahead.
New champions and sibling rivalry. This is your WWE report for the week of August 17th, 2014. If you missed SummerSlam, check it out on the WWE Network. This event was full of action. The Miz didn't hold on to the Intercontinental title for long. Dolph Ziggler snatched it away at SummerSlam. As for title changes, who would have thought that Paige would defeat AJ Lee and once again become the Divas champion? I bet the Divas locker room is hotter than ever. Seth Rollins finally stops running from Ambrose and beats him in a one-on-one matchup. Stephanie McMahon all geared up for her match against Brie Bella. Brie, being the favorite to win, was not expecting her own twin to come against her on behalf of the Authority. Stephanie comes out on top with the help of Nikki Bella. And Roman Reigns once again puts the Viper down. Well, folks, our new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. On Monday Night Raw, Nikki Bella explains that she is fed up with her twin's selfishness, and her quitting was the final straw. How the Wyatt Giants, Rowan and Harper, finally met their match, as they were thrashed when pitted against the Big Show and Mark Henry. Dual belts no more. The Authority crowned Brock Lesnar with the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion belt on Raw. Randy Orton on a losing streak. In a six-man tag match, Randy Orton, Ryback, and Curtis Axel against RVD, Roman Reigns, and the U.S. title holder, Sheamus, ended in the defeat of Orton's team. I'm sure Randy isn't quite feeling the love anymore from the Authority. Well, it looks as if the next tag team holders will be Stardust and Goldust. They dominated the present tag team champs, the Usos, in a non-title match on Monday Night Raw. Will the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, be the one to neutralize the force that is Rusev? Henry gives Rusev a preview of what's to come whenever they are matched up, leaving Rusev down and out trying to regain his composure. Ambrose and Rollins still at it, and with the help of Kane, Rollins put Ambrose through a pile of cinder blocks head first, but Ambrose refused treatment and has disappeared. I think Ambrose needs a straitjacket. What about you? Alberto Del Rio makes statements about the racism that he faced in America and the incident that got him fired. Also, announcer Howard Finkel has been added to the WWE 2K15 game. And if anybody deserves this honor, he does. This WWE report was brought to you by Whitaker & Company, Certified Public Accountants, 877-880-1033.
All right, thanks a lot, Dreamy. You are lovely as ever. And we are joined by Lori from KES Music, one of the organizers for the Big Jackson Tribute. Hello, Lori.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm fine, dear. Thank you for calling us at Not Your Mama's radio show. How you have got to be the busiest beaver in show business right now. Is that true?
Yes, we're definitely busy. I have Carmen here with me.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Carmen, how you doing?
Fantastic.
All right, guys. My first question. No, go on. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
No, okay. My first question has got to be, okay, how did this event come up? Catherine Jackson call y'all on the phone and say, I want y'all to help me celebrate my baby birthday. What happened? How did this happen? How did this come about?
It was just about like that, to be really truthful with you. I don't know, but we're based in Chicago, and Catherine is a mutual friend. We have a mutual friend, okay? And our friend says, well, look, why don't you get Carmen and Lori to help with this year's event? Up until now, it's been like a giant block party, okay? But this year they wanted to step it up. This is the 5th annual. They wanted to step it up, so they said, well, let's get some folks in the music business to go ahead and do this thing. So that's literally what happened. She called our buddy Greg, and Greg put us on three-way. And she says, I'd love to see you have you and Lori do this. I've heard so much about you, and here we are.
Oh, okay. Now, what have you and Lori done in the past? I mean, excuse me for saying. I mean, I know you guys are, impresarios in the music business. But what was it in the music business you guys have done that made them take notice, and how did all this come about? Your involvement. That's my question.
Well, we are a music and video distribution company.
Okay.
Probably one of the only actual Afro-American owned and operated music and video distribution companies. We place independent product for emerging artists and artists who have had deals in the past, but no longer are being sought by the majors, or they don't have a desire now that the game has changed, as they say, to be with a major. So we place product into major retail stores like Walmart, Kmart, Best Buy, Target, Barnes & Noble, all your major retailers and independent retailers all across the U.S., Canada, and key foreign markets. So that was one of the criteria, one of the things that she knew about us from, because we distributed America's First Family of Music for Marlon Jackson back in, what year was that, Lori?
Oh, wow, that was a while ago.
2005, maybe? Yeah, 2005.
Yes. And also with the distribution side, there's a marketing side that we help independent artists, and as Carmen was mentioning, even established artists with their marketing, with radio, video promotions, video productions, also touring, and also a lot of the social media, which is very important now with the internet. So it's basically a one-stop shop. So, yeah, exactly. One-stop shop. Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Yes, for an artist. Yes.
Yeah. We have the major infrastructure in place for artists that just don't know the terrain, and they need, if they were signed with a major, 9 times out of 10 they didn't get into the nuts and bolts as we call it and the mechanics of the business. So therefore you need to still get on major network TV. You still want to be on the big shows. You still want to do the same thing that you're able to do with the majors, however independently. So yeah.
What does an artist have to do today to make it? Because the landscape has changed. It's not like back in the day where you can send your demo to a major record label and hopefully they'll even pick that lottery ticket out of a hat to listen to that demo, call you up and sign you, or the record company executive is now walking around the mall discovering that singing group that just happened to be singing in the food court. Nowadays it's like being out there with 100,000 people in 10 cities to get on American Idol or trying to get on The Voice. I mean, look like it's almost impossible now. And with social media, getting put out there is easier, but actually getting a deal. What does artists have to do today, and how does it differ from back in the day besides what I just said?
Well, actually, today, I mean, back in the day, you had to get discovered and get somebody to put all the money behind you, and that was like, one in so many 100,000, million people or whatever. But today, I'm from the old school, but I think today is even easier than it was back in the day because the level, the playing field is more level, and the tools to help you get out there in front of all these millions of people is more at your fingertips. So when you say the word, what does it take to make it? It depends on what an artist really calls making it. I mean, do you want to be the biggest star that ever lived? I mean, what is making it today? I think an artist has to be smart. They have to be pragmatic. They have to see where they're starting from, and they've got to be very, very talented. Because if you expose your music to the social media and to all those outlets that are out there, and you're different and you're good, I'm talking about real good, and do the work, put in the work by booking yourself on some shows, starting off with groups like NACA.org, which is the National Association of College Campus Activity. Those are very organized groups that can help an artist really get on tour. So now you can if you're good and you get with an organization like that, and I don't belong to them. I'm not hired by them or anything, but just to say, have an organized situation with great music to where you can hit 50 campuses, on a tour, blow the people away, have a show. I'm talking about a real show that they go, wow, did you see that? Who is that? Then each one of those kids right now have, the average, student or person has, 50,000? I'm on the low end, 25, 50,000 Twitter followers, whatnot. So if you hit 50 campuses and you playing to 2,000 kids, come on. The math is there. You know what I'm saying? But it comes down to talent and being smart enough to use all these social media tools to get yourself out there. And then also one other thing I want to add is that when you talk about making it, you have to say what kind of things you're looking to do. You have to set those milestones and set those goals for yourself. The first thing you want to do is, maybe sell 20,000, 30,000 units on the internet through iTunes or something. At that point, you're an attractive acquisition for a major because they see that you're out there working, you're hustling, you're beating the street, you're getting in front of people. So that's a real broad question, but hopefully that helps answer a little bit from our perspective.
No, it really does, and I'm glad that you guys are going to be out there. I'm glad it's going to be, it's going to be a wealth of artists coming out there, and this is the kind of information they need to know. See, a lot of artists come up today, and one of the biggest things that hinder artists from making it, or when they do make it, they don't enjoy the money and the successes they enjoy, is because they just don't know. They don't know how contracts work. They don't understand the jargon of the music business. They don't understand why when Momma and I signed with the WWE, that contract was 50 pages long. And that contract covered everything from intellectual properties and mechanical rights and a whole bunch of things that we just simply did not understand. If I had to do it over today, knowing what I know now, things would be different. But this is the way they've been writing these contracts, since the beginning. It's changed the technology, and they're a lot more complicated. So to have people like you out there that are actually out there willing to school these up-and-coming artists, it really warms my heart. I just want to know, before I let you guys go, because I know you guys got a lot to do, walk us through next weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What are we going to see? What's expected to happen? What are we in for?
Well, it's going to start on Thursday, August 28th, and it starts actually right in front of the Jackson Birth Home, 2300 Jackson Street, okay? And there's going to be like an opening ceremony with the mayor involved, and Catherine Jackson and family members will be there. and that just kind of kicks it off for the weekend. And from there, we just want to have fun and celebrate Michael and what his legacy. And that's mainly what Mrs. Jackson wanted to do, is just celebrate him and his legacy. And, by doing that, with the emerging artists that will be performing each day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, also dance competition, and there will be a car show on Saturday morning, starting at 9. And Mindless Behavior is the headliner on Saturday evening, and OMG Girls will be opening for them. So it's just about positivity for that community. We just want to the youth there and the people there just try to bring positive, just a positive light.
No, okay. I mean, it sounds like something. I mean, Mr. Horn, Mo, he's in North Carolina. He's driving all the way down here for it. Me personally, when I got wind of it, I said I want to be a part of it because I'm not just a Michael Jackson, but I'm a Jackson 5 fan. I couldn't sing or dance when I was little, but I found my niche to break into this business. And, we have the whole anti-bullying thing, and anything that we can tell those young people about being in the entertainment business proper and how Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 influenced us, we are more than happy to do. We cannot wait to meet you guys. We can't wait to be there. We're going to be there Thursday, definitely, for the opening ceremony. We worked that out. We're going to do our thing on Saturday for you guys, have our booth set up to give people more information, sign some autographs, whatever we can do, and, spread that anti-bullying message and celebrate Michael and the family and the legacy, and thank you for letting us be a part of it. I mean, I just can't put it more plainer than that.
Yes, so we thank you for being a part of it also. Yes, it's definitely going to be a great time. We'll have vendors and food and craft, and like you said, you'll be there. And we've got an email from people from Brazil. They're actually coming. So we know that Brazil, China, Canada, the UK. So
it'll be an international party.
Yes, exactly.
Only Jackson could just bring everybody in the world together. Ain't that something?
That's awesome.
Yes, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
Awesome.
I mean,
hey, could I ask Karma a question?
Yeah.
Hey, Karma, this is Mo. Real name, I am Bobby Horn.
Yes, sir.
In regards to artists that don't know, like NACA. Now, I'm familiar with NACA because basically the way that whole system works, every college they have. Part of your tuition, they have a student activity fee that college students pay, and it goes into this big fund, and then once a year they have to spend all that money. So what they do is they have these big, like it's almost like a work conference, but they have these big conferences where people can join NACA and come in, and you have people that's selling the carnival, you have other artists that's selling the entertainment. For those artists out there, those young artists out there that don't have a clue what that entails, and it's not very hard to become a member of NACA. It's costly. There's a fee to join NACA. It's not free to join. It's costly. But for those young artists out there that's not familiar with that, is there a website or a phone number or anything where they can contact you guys and get more information about it so they can try to get themselves out there a little more?
Absolutely. Anyone who's interested, they can go to KES Music Group. That's K as in King, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, musicgroup.com. Okay? Or give us a call at 312-321-6256. And I just mentioned NACA. There are many other opportunities out there for artists that we'd love to go over that information with anyone that wants to call.
Great. I'm familiar with NACA because years ago we used to go to the one when they came to Atlanta, Georgia, and we'd sell 3 or 4 wrestling events to the colleges. You know,
exactly.
and they have a lot of money to spend for these activities because they have to spend it.
Exactly.
They have to spend that money.
Yeah, a lot of artists just don't know about the organizations that's out there that they can get involved with. You know, so yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we drove that point home. That they need somewhere. They need a point of contact, and I think KES Music it sounds like a great place for them to contact and get on the right road.
Absolutely, I really appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of people, it's just like anything else. You know, it's like anything else. People need mentor-like spirits in order to get on the right road or the places they want to go. And the fact that you guys provide that is just, you know, I mean, in addition to this event that you guys are doing, it is a phenomenal thing. And, you know, it's just getting the word out there that, you know, that you guys are out there, you exist, and you're willing to help. And I think that that's just a blessing or beyond a blessing.
Okay, great. Also, just want to let everyone know, too, they can go to the official MichaelJacksonTribute.com for more information.
I saw that website, and I was, like, blown away by the crowds that you guys have had. You know, I saw pictures from the past ones, and I was like, look at all those people out there. I mean, it's not like we haven't been in front of millions of fans over the years, but it's been a while now, so I'm getting stage fright myself. I'm like, wow, look at all those people coming.
No.
Right.
That's all right. Well, hey, we want you there because we know you guys know how to pump up a crowd. I mean, you know, so we need your energy.
We can.
We need your energy.
You guys have to be watching the Men on a Mission videos, huh?
Yeah, we look forward to you guys.
All right, you guys, thanks a lot for coming on. I appreciate it. See you next week.
Okay, keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Kevin. All right.
God bless, guys.
You. All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's going to be a big one.
I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an exciting thing. But if those two think that I could do that the way I did in 20 years, they're going to be sadly disappointed.
That's all right. We'll throw some crazy comedy. So, are we ready to kick off this wrestling thing?
Yes, sir. We do have Jay Moore, Jason the Brain, and Bam Bam Bundy on hold.
All right, let's do this.
All right, I'll bring them on right now.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was good, Oscar.
You are all on live now with Oscar and Sir Mo.
All right.
Hey, guys, how y'all doing?
Doing fine, Mo. How are you?
All right. Why don't we, you guys say hello to Oscar?
How you doing, Oscar?
How you doing?
I'm all right, guys. How y'all doing?
Oscar needs to say hello to me. I don't say hello to anybody. It's his pleasure that I'm on your podcast. So, no, Mo, you say hello to me. Oscar says hello to me. I don't say hello to anybody.
Dreamy Mimi, you're on the line. That voice that you hear, that annoying, ready, raspy voice, that guy's name is Jay Moore, Dreamy Mimi. Say hello, Dreamy Mimi.
How you doing, Jay?
Oh, look, now that's somebody I can talk to right there. Mo, you make sure she gets my number whenever I get off the phone here because you know I love the women.
Well, knowing how you are, Jay Moore, I figure any female voice will be enough to get you going. So anyway.
Well, because I'm tired of dealing with Jason the Brain's wife. She won't leave me alone. All she does is call me because I hate his stinking guts is the way it is. I am the reason. They don't even need to be on this show, Mo. I'm the reason that this show is even going to get ratings, not them two idiots.
Well, Jason the Brain,
yes, sir.
Since he mentioned you, I'm going to give you a few seconds to just kind of introduce yourself to Oscar and Dreamy Mimi and all the rest of the fans out there.
Well, how are you guys doing tonight? I sure appreciate the invite for you having me on tonight. And, Jay Moore's right. I mean, my wife does keep calling him because, he's supposed to get over here to fix our plumbing at our house. And, I know he needs to pay his trailer park bill. So, anytime, Jay, you're about
to
your
wife keep calling them, but mine won't be calling them, so you have to call them all he wants to. My wife wants to call you Jay, you son of a... Anyway, out there.
Yeah, you guys have your jokes, because I am the reigning manager of the year, not Jason the Brain. I'm the best manager in the wrestling business, so go ahead and make your jokes, Mo, Oscar. If I was within driving distance, you guys, I'd beat you to the death anyway, because you guys are nothing to me.
Well, just so you know, Jay Moore, you're talking about beating me or whatever. I got my buddy Bam Bam Bundy on the line, and I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be hard for him to take you out. Bam Bam, you there?
Wing his way.
Bam Bam,
Mo, yes, sir, I am here, and I've dealt with Jay Moore in the past. He's been a former manager of mine one time up in Union City, and he was a thorn in my side there, as he's a thorn in every wrestling fan's side that has to be in his eyes.
Well, first of all, the guy stole his name from the actor comic, Jay Moore. So what does that say about the guy?
Jay?
One, Oscar, you need to learn respect. I'd just rather have that beautiful female talk to me, not you, because you know what? All I got to do is throw a 3-syllable word your way, and you'll be confused for 15 minutes. So I want that beautiful female to talk to me, not you. Why don't you go work on a crossword puzzle or something?
Okay, well before we have that beautiful female talk to you and get you all hot and bothered, Jacob, we know how you're such a perv. I want to hear from Jason the Brain. Because I hear he's doing some big things with this upcoming Ashley McClure benefit, and I want to hear something about that. So, Jay Moore, if you could for a minute, stick a sock in it, sit back and relax, and let us hear a little bit from Jason the Brain.
Exactly, Jay. Just calm down, because I know normally when you talk to women, they cost $3.99 a minute. So now you get to hear from me. Like I said, I want to thank you guys for giving me the time to come on here and talk to you guys about the Ashley McClure Memorial. This is the second year that we are doing it. All the proceeds are going to St. Jude Children's Hospital in the name of Ashlyn. Ashlyn was a beautiful young little girl that I got the pleasure of spending, the 2 years that she was on this planet, and I got to spend a lot of time with her, one of my best friend's little girls, and St. Jude just took them in, paid for everything, paid for their house note, their car note, just took total care of them while they were there. So they didn't have to worry about anything else. And I wanted to give back to St. Jude in any way possible. And the first year was it was a good year. We raised about $1,200, and I never really was a booker per se and a promoter, but I did put together a pretty good show, had a lot of great talent from around the Mid-South area. This year I really busted it out and got some good sponsors, and we were able to get Sean Waltman, X-Pac, to come in. We were able to get Big Van Vader, him to come in. Of course, you got all the great local guys from Derek King, and Dustin, 5-star, is going to be there. Madman Pondo, and we're hoping to raise a bunch of money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I'm not getting a penny out of this at all, and I know a lot of people, when they see benefit, everybody questions stuff, but, if I say it, everything is going to go to St. Jude, and I'm proud to give it to them.
Well, good, Jason the Brain. The thing about this show this week, all this month, Oscar came up with a fantastic concept. We are actually doing a podcast seminar where we invite different veteran wrestlers onto the program, and we open up a forum for young up-and-coming indie wrestlers and managers and valets to come on board. First of all, we'd like to get some background information on everybody, and then we kind of open the floor to answer any questions that you guys might have that would help you guys, just improve yourselves in the business or for the ones that want to go to the next level, kind of to give them some information, and basically it's our way of giving back something to younger guys, stuff that we ourselves needed when we actually made it ourselves. So at this point, I'm glad Jay Moore still got that sock stuck in his mouth. I'm going to start with Bam Bam Bundy. And Bam Bam, just kind of tell us, who you are, where you come from, how you got started, and what inspired you to be a part of the business.
Well, Mo, first off, I come from a small town in South Tennessee called Bolivar, Tennessee. I've been a wrestling fan my entire life. My grandfather was a wrestler in Alabama, and ever since I laid eyes on that squared circle, man, I fell in love with it. I turned 18 and started looking for a school around South, and I found one in Henderson. It was the Memphis Wrestling Academy with the head trainer, Kevin White. And Kevin did a great job, in my opinion, of training me. And then I ended up getting with Grandmaster Sexay Brian Christopher and ended up mentoring under him for a little while. And ever since then, I've been in this business almost 2 years, and it has been a great ride. It's been everything I've ever dreamed it would be.
Okay. Jason the Brain, there's something about that title, The Brain, that would make somebody hearing that think, okay, this guy obviously is very smart, very creative. Tell us how Jason the Brain came about.
Well, I started about 7.5 years ago in New Bern, Tennessee, and under Sarge O'Reilly. He was one of the big guys that trained me around and took me different places and took me to Arkansas and Mississippi to work and kind of showed me the ropes. And I got into it. I loved wrestling my whole life. My parents were Pentecostal, against wrestling. I'd get grounded every week for sneaking out and going to watch Channel 5. And I'd cut it on and I'd watch as Lance Russell and Dave Brown and Corey Macklin would, call all the action, and just seeing all those guys, the Brian Christophers, the Doug Gilberts, Jerry Lawlers, Umo, Bill Dundee, all the legends, just come on there, it was awesome, and it just hooked me, and it was something that I just had a mind for. And a lot of people give me grief about the Jason the Brain name that was given to me. I did not choose it. It was given to me. But okay. I have all due respect for Bobby the Brain Heenan. Probably, no offense, Oscar, but probably the greatest manager of all time in my eyes. Just an awesome talker and just thinker, and I just tried to model myself after him, the way he would come back so quickly and the way he was not afraid to get in the ring and get punched by the Ultimate Warrior or whatever. He would do anything it took to get his guys over and to make the people have a feeling, either cheer them or boo them. Most of the time it was boo them or laugh, and that just stuck with me. And I wanted to make that crowd feel like he could make them feel. And I guess that's just one of the things that really stuck with me and made me want to become a manager rather than a pro wrestler. And that's kind of my little backstory on how I got into the business and my love for it.
Okay, well, because it's going to be really annoying, it's really going to, it's probably going to annoy the heck out of Dreamy Mimi, and I love her so much, and I don't want her annoyed quite yet. For you guys, just like Jason the Brain, just apologize to Oscar about, his idea of Bobby the Brain Heenan being the greatest manager. The thing that I want to stress is that Oscar was a front man and not necessarily a wrestling manager. He Oscar for Men on a Mission was like Flavor Flav was, for Chuck D and Public Enemy. He's the hype guy. He's the guy that leads us to the ring and gets the crowd hyped up behind us. you know, especially when I'm in there getting the crap beat out of me or whatever. So he was never, his role was never to be a wrestling manager per se, you know. So when people you know, they refer to Oscar and compare him to other wrestling managers, it doesn't fit at all, because that was never his job, that was never his title. Oscar has always been a rap entertainer. In fact, he was working. Well, shoot, Oscar, you tell him how you came about being in this wrestling game.
Well, the story is long, but to condense it down, I was living out in Los Angeles, and I was like doing just all kinds of things. At the start of 1990, my career really took off because I just got proper management. I mean, I had already been with groups like Run DMC and Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Sugar Hill Gang. I mean, the list goes on and on. Then when I got with my management, I started doing things with the likes of Frank Sinatra and, you know, comedians like Don Rickles and Milton Berle, and I started being really celebrated in the whole Hollywood community. But still, the shows that I was doing were still sporadic. It was good money, but it was off and on. There was a comedian who was at the highlight of his career at the time called Andrew Dice Clay, who took a liking to me, and I would do shows with Andrew Dice Clay. He would do his show for about 2 hours, then I would get on and rap and close it down. He flew me out to Las Vegas. I was out there, and I was doing a show with Andrew Dice Clay. After the show, I went to play craps. When I was playing craps, they were doing vignettes for WrestleMania 9. Randy Savage and Vince McMahon and Jerry Lawler were shooting vignettes for WrestleMania 9. They was going through the casino. I went up to Macho Man Randy Savage. I did this awesome rap for him. Vince was there, and the rest was history. Vince was getting on the elevator and told me to call him in Stamford, Connecticut tomorrow. No, exactly, Monday. I called them up. We had a conversation. Vince signed me up. Meanwhile, these two guys that I did not know in the USWA called the Harlem Knights, Nelson Frazier and Bobby Horn, who later became Mo and Mabel, they were getting groomed. They put us together. Bam, Men on a Mission was born. And like Mo said, I was labeled as a manager, but I really was a hype man. So that's the story.
All right. And so we're here to answer any questions you might have of us, Jason the Brain, or any question you might have, Bam Bam Monday. But before we get to that, we're gonna unplug, pull out the sock, and hear where this Jay Moore guy came from. Jay Moore, you still there?
My goodness, that's the longest I've ever been quiet. And your ratings went down listening to them where they came from. So who cares where they came from? I'm sure their family tree has no branches in it whatsoever. So, but Mo, you and I go back a long way. You know, I first started my career here in Union City by a wrestler seen me and talked with me, and his name was Rude. Rude pulled me out, and he talked to me, and he's the one that gave me my very first start in this business. So first off, that's where my thanks goes to is Rude for even giving me an opportunity. And then shortly thereafter, I did have the pleasure, and I'll give you credit, that I got the pleasure that I got to work a wrestling show with you and the great Mabel. I mean, that is one of the things that I don't think will ever be topped, is be able to work with you and Mabel. That was wonderful, and that's one of the great memories I have. You know, but then after that, I took my own career. Sarge O'Reilly helped me and gave me tools, but then I did everything myself. I don't give anybody else credit on anything else because I'm the greatest because of me and nobody else. So they need to be asking me questions, how to become manager of the year and how to be a success. And Mo, you can even ask me questions, and I'll even help you out on your career. I'm just that great.
Wow. Dreamy Mimi, you there, darling?
No, I'm here.
Okay, Dreamy Mimi. Do you have a question you might want to ask Jay Moore? Is there anything about him that you want to know? I didn't think so.
Besides the regional.
She don't need to ask me anything. She's constantly Facebooking Facebook and message me right now. I mean, I've already got 20 messages from her. So I'm going to get to them, Mimi. I promise you, I'm going to get to every one of them. I'm going to shoot you my phone number. So stop Facebooking me. So Mo, tell her to stop Facebooking me.
Okay. Well, I think that Oscar's been around Nelson and I long enough to maybe learn a spin kick or two. And, just for the sake of decorum, just so you know, Jay Moore, Dreamy Mimi is Oscar's better half. So I think you might want to calm down a little bit on the her messaging you on Facebook and you sending her your phone number. I mean,
no, let him keep on. I'm booking my ticket to that show they're having this weekend right now.
Well, I just want Jay Moore to know that Oscar is the type that the last time I remember Oscar getting mad, it was in 93 or 94. And the Brooklyn Brawler pissed him off, and Oscar told him he needed to find himself or he'd find himself floating in the Hudson River. Now, I don't know, what he meant by that, but generally when somebody from New York says something about you finding yourself floating in the Hudson River, it has something to do with concrete boots. So, Jay Moore, we know you got a big mouth, which we can all assume that you got big feet, and which you'll need them if you find yourself in concrete boots.
I cannot help. I'm that great. Every woman wants me, and every man wants to be me. I'm the greatest manager in the world, Mo. You know that. You've seen me. You have literally begged me to come on this show forever. Finally, your money got right, and I'm coming on this show, and this will be the highest rating show you'll ever have. So Oscar can get mad all he wants. Enjoy the ratings because Jay Moore is on your show.
Wow. Jason the Brain.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Jay Moore's on our Jay Moore's on our show. Yeah, I loved you in that movie. Loser, loser, loser. Do we have any real questions that somebody want to ask? We got Bam Bam Bundy. Bam Bam Bundy, you any relation to King Kong Bundy? How did that name come about?
Actually, it started off as a joke between me and Brian Christopher. Growing up, my nickname was Bam Bam, and we were joking around training one night, and he was like, yeah, you just might need to go with that one time. And went to the promotion down in Booneville, had my second match in my career, and it just got over. And I figured, well, since it's over, why not stick with it? At the time I was a heel, so everybody got on to me for trying to copy big names like Bam Bam Bigelow and King Kong Bundy. And it didn't help that I'm a 315-pound guy. That's all.
Okay, well. Right. Yeah, you know what, Dreamy, check this out. I ask you this question every week because as a female and as a female wrestling fan, if these guys were to make it in the big time, what would you like to see on TV? What would they have to do to keep you tuning in every week?
I hate when you do that to me.
I know. That's why I do it.
Wow.
So what would they? What would they have to be? What would you like to see? I mean, if you saw a brand new wrestler, I'm gonna make it simple. You saw a brand new wrestler. They came out. What would they have to do to pique your interest as a female? You're a wrestling fan. Who do you like to see every week, and why you like? Okay, let's put it like this. You like Roman Reigns. Let's say you love Roman Reigns. What is it about Roman Reigns that piques your interest when you see him?
I told you the last time you asked this question on the air. The number one thing, the most important thing, is the confidence.
Confidence. Bundy, you got any confidence?
Yeah, you got any confidence? Because she wants to see confidence.
She wants confidence, Bundy.
Yes, sir. I'm very confident. And Dreamy, I think I could turn you into a fan of mine if you just go check out one of my matches on YouTube.
Okay.
Well, Jason the Brain, everybody on the planet seems to think that the greatest mouthpiece in the business today is Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Where would you rate yourself as a manager compared to Paul Heyman?
Well, Paul Heyman is, to me, I mean, he's a genius. He really is. I mean, he can cut wonderful promos that a lot of people that try to get into the business and, you know, and that's the problem with a lot of these guys. They'll get on the mic and they'll stutter and they'll talk real low and they really don't know how to speak. That's what a manager is for. So Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar, is terrible on the mic. But when Paul gets that mic, he tells a story. And you just listen to him. And he could have been talking for 10 minutes and it just felt like 2. So
right.
He's a genius, the way he can get his guys over and make them, you know, they can bring them to life pretty much with his words. So I believe he's a genius. And, I mean, I've been in this business 7 years, and I've got to manage some of the greats, you know, got to manage Mabel. I got to manage Sid Vicious, a lot of the guys, Bill Dundee, and stuff like that. But it's just something about being in front of a crowd and being able to speak for someone else that gives you a lot of power. And I know you told me earlier that Oscar was just, you know, he was the front man, and that is true. But if you're a babyface manager, you got to be a hype man because you can't do any kind of cheating or anything else. Being a babyface manager is pretty boring, if I may say so.
Right. So, Jason the Brain, you were talking about a manager being good, being able to talk or whatever. Why don't you give us your opinion on Jay Moore's talking ability as a manager?
Oh boy, this is rough right here because I hate his guts. But I'll give Jay a lot of props because he may not want to say it, but you can take Sergeant O'Reilly out of that picture because I'm the one that showed Jay Moore how to be a manager and how to talk and how to be where he is today. He talks about him being a manager of the year now. Well, I've got 3 of them hanging on my wall. So, I mean, he's not on that level yet as Jason the Brain, but, you know, he might get there in time. Jay Moore, he's come a long way in a short amount of time, and it's really from being influenced by people such as you, Mo, and getting out there and hanging out with Derek King. Those people, being around those guys, really helped Jay out also.
Okay.
But Jay's a great up-and-comer. He really is. He's really good on the mic.
Okay.
But, of course, we could all be better.
Up
hey,
and
guys,
coming.
I just want to I don't mean to cut you guys off there. I do apologize. I do want to let you guys know that I do have Mr. Kevin Lawler on the line now. He is live with everybody now.
Okay.
How you doing, man?
All right. Welcome, Kevin. So Jason the Brain, in this situation with that up-and-comer Jay Moore, you would kind of a good analogy of that would be Jay Moore is LeBron James and you're Michael Jordan, correct?
I wouldn't say LeBron. I mean, I might give him something like maybe a Dwayne Wade or something. I wouldn't say he's that good. But I would say he's getting there. Give him a little bit of time. He's like Derrick Rose with those bad knees. He could be.
Oh,
good.
okay. Well, Jay Moore, what do you say about all that?
Warren, I mean, Jason the Brain has had diarrhea of the mouth for years. You know, yes, at first, whenever he had a backbone, he took me underneath his wings and he did show me the ropes. That's where I'll give him the credit. But then he started carrying his wife's little bit's purse around and he lost all sense of being a man. So what I've done is I went out on my own and I've made it. I've surpassed him. He will never have another Manager of the Year plaque on his wall unless he breaks into my house. So, yes, I did learn from him, but I also learned that I'm not carrying my wife's purse. He's living off his wife now a little bit, who's a female wrestler of the year. He's not worried about his career anymore. He is a joke of a manager. NRG is a joke of a group, and I'm going to put him out of business come September the 13th. I'm going to own NRG. I've already ran Jason the Brain out of Union City once, Mo. And, and if you show up in Union City, I'll run you out of Union City. If Kevin Lawler wants to come to Union City, I'll run him out of Union City. Coco, beware, this is not his town anymore. I am the king of Union City, and I'll become the king of all of Tennessee if I so choose.
Well, Kevin Lawler, you're on the air. You are the head man for Memphis Wildfire Wrestling, and business here as of late has looked pretty good for you, Kevin. What's going on?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the invitation, but I will not be in Union City. But yeah, things are looking really good for Memphis Wildfire Wrestling. We do events at Minglewood Hall. We've got one coming up on Thursday night, September the 18th. This is going to basically be kind of like celebrating the 2-year anniversary of my dad basically surviving a heart attack, and that he's still just kind of going strong and not having any issues with that, and just haven't really missed a beat. We've got some big names coming in for that event. We've got Handsome Jimmy Valiant's going to be in town. We've got Brian Christopher going to be there. We've got Lance Russell going to be there. And, plus, what I consider probably some of the, the hottest and freshest, young talent in this area, going to be there. So, it's going to be a good night, and I'd like to, extend that invitation and invite, anyone in the surrounding area that would like to come down and check us out.
Well, Kevin, growing up in a family of royalty as you have, and I know how creative you can be, and I know that promoting gets your creative juices flowing. We've got Jay Moore, who is in his brain, his own mind, manager extraordinaire, and then we've got Jason the Brain, who it seems to be very humble, and then of course Bam Bam Bundy, all here in this one room. If there was any kind of inspiration, any kind of knowledge as far as them going forward in this business, what type of advice would you give to these guys going forward?
The advice that I would give to a lot of these guys is first and foremost, just pay attention, educate yourself, do research. Nowadays with the internet, with YouTube, if you really want to just educate yourself in the art of wrestling, you need to go back and watch, stuff that took place, in the mid and late, 80s and 90s. Memphis would be some of the best stuff. I've even told guys nowadays with this WWE Network, if you have it, man, go on there and watch some of those Clash of the Champions, shows from the 80s and the very early 90s. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the stuff that you see today, and I just think that, that all that stuff is just so, it's just so, produced, it just doesn't have that, that realness to it. It doesn't have that natural ability. This is one thing I actually was just talking to Bill Dundee about this yesterday, and was even talking to Lance about this recently, and one of the reasons why we feel that Lance Russell and Dave Brown legitimately are probably the best, wrestling announce team ever is because the fact that these two guys, they didn't do like what you see so many, wrestling announcers out there now or wannabe wrestling announcers out there do, is they never went out there and they never tried to get themselves over. They never told little jokes and tried to be bad guy announcer or tried to be the cliche good guy announcer or tried to make it about them. They legitimately were professional, and they knew their job. And they knew their job was to get the guys over and to basically explain as best they could what they were seeing, so that if you were, they were so good that they would explain in a way that if you wasn't watching TV and you was listening on the radio, they could paint that picture and you could see it in your head, because like I said, they basically just told it from a professional standpoint. They didn't go out there and try to just be, hey, let's be the stereotypical announcer, or you see so many guys out there that just want to be the stereotypical, manager, stereotypical good guy, or stereotypical bad guy, all that kind of stuff. I tell people all the time, when you're being a personality, or especially if you're doing interviews on the microphone, the best way to compare it, it's no different than if you was to go up and try to talk to a girl in a club. You have to realize that just like how a girl has heard every pickup line in the world and she's seen it all and heard it all, well, the wrestling fans are the same way. They've seen every cliche interview. They've seen it all. They've heard it all. So if you go out there and just give them that same old fired up, oh, hey, I'm here, I'm ready to rock and roll, they've seen that, and it won't mean nothing. But if you the same way, if you project that confidence and you're laid back and you're cool and you walk up to a girl in a club and you talk to her and it comes across like that's legit, like you're really talking to her, and if you project that same kind of thing when you do interviews, well, then what's going to happen is you'll probably get the girl's phone number and you'll probably get the people to buy tickets to come to the show because it has to have that believability factor to it. So my advice would be just to be a lot more toned down and natural and educate yourself in going back and watching and learning the fundamentals. And then if you're ever around, you know, if you ever happen to get to be like at a show or an event that has guys like, you know, Mo or my father or Bill and D or any of these guys who's actually been around and done something, you know, listen to them, watch them, you know, learn from them. I mean, the stuff that they tell you, they're telling you because they know, because they've been there and they know what works and what doesn't.
Awesome, awesome. Jason the Brain, you have any questions?
No, I totally agree with everything he said. That's why I feel so lucky that I grew up watching Memphis wrestling, because even some of the other managers that people really don't know about, I feel like I took a lot from just watching them, like Scott Bowden. Was a huge fan of Scott Bowden, loved him. Brandon Baxter.
Just talked to him today, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he was on my podcast, and he was awesome. And I learned so much from those guys that really didn't make it big, but they influenced me watching them. And Memphis wrestling is the heart of the business, if you ask me. I mean, you got your big companies, but man, back in the day with Jerry and them, it was awesome.
Well, here's the thing. Here's something that I really want to stress this because I think that people lose, and it goes back to a conversation we were having earlier with the people that's producing the Michael Jackson celebration next weekend, when the guy was talking about a level of success. You know, what is your level of success? Well, in that, when you mentioned Scott Bowden and Brandon Baxter and, you know, guys that were great that didn't make it big, to me, and I just have to be honest about that, I think beyond WCW and beyond WWE, WWF, whatever they want to call it, I think that working for the USWA was probably one of the biggest things in the world, in this world of professional wrestling, that a person could have done and achieved. You have got to look at it from this standpoint. No, you're not working in front of 20,000, 30,000 people, you know, but there were crowds like that back in the day, 10,000, 12,000 people. They had crowds like that. No, you're not making millions of dollars. Well, the problem of that was during those time periods, we didn't have $1,200, $1,300 front row seats. You know, they had tickets $3, $5, $7, $8, you know, $10 tickets. So to be a part of the USWA, to me, that is big. That is as big as WCW. That is as big as WWE, because every major superstar that ended up in WCW, that ended up in WWE or WWF, came through Memphis, Tennessee.
I was going to say, man, I was just going to say, if I can jump in there on that. You know, I especially more so in that heyday of Memphis, you know, those mid to late 80s, but even so forth, you know, in the 90s with the USWA. But like he was saying, I mean, if you had the opportunity to get be a part of Memphis really at any time, it was just a whole different kind of a beast, you know. I mean, to do that live TV and just be thrown out there on the whim and to be standing there basically in that guerrilla position. They say, okay, hey, you know, go, you got to talk about this. Boom, throw you through the curtain, and you had no preparation. You just go. I mean, nowadays you see so many guys that are in the back, and they go over their whole match, they go over everything. There, man, it was just so, you know, spontaneous, where you just go out there and boom, you know, you just had to go with it. And then also back then, the education of getting to, you know, to go to all these different towns, like, you know, every week. I mean, you were, you know, every Monday you're somewhere, Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, Friday and Saturday, you know, and making these long trips. I mean, guys now think that if they drive from Ripley to Dyersburg, that's making a huge road trip, you know.
Right.
You know, these guys don't know what it's like to go from Memphis to Louisville or somewhere. But, man, I always kind of compare the Memphis territory to, like, Saturday Night Live, man. I mean, you know, through all these years, I mean, you had a lot of cast members that came and went, a lot of cast members of Saturday Night Live, some that you never even heard of, you never even knew. Then there were some that went on to become big stars that never even really got their day in the spotlight on Saturday Night Live. And Memphis was that same way. There was a lot of people, because of the politics, that came and went. Some of them never really got an opportunity. Some people got opportunities that didn't deserve opportunities. And then some people went on to become huge stars that at the same time, you know, wasn't big. I mean, I remember in 1990 here in Memphis, when we weren't even at the Coliseum at that time. We were at the Pitkin Building, and our locker room consisted of Steve Austin, Rob Van Dam, Sabu, Chris Candido, you know, Brian Christopher just starting, Jeff Jarrett, you know, Bill and D. Jarrett. I mean, that was the crew that was here in 1990. And none of those guys were really being properly utilized or featured in Memphis. But, I mean, look where Steve Austin went. Look where Rob Van Dam went. Look where Sabu went. You know, all these guys, you know, that were just happened to be here at a certain time, you know. And but like I said, yeah, I mean, it's or like you said, really, I mean, it was a place like no other, and it's just was probably, man. Yeah, I mean, you talk about people going to the Stu Hart's dungeon and this, that, and the other, man. I just feel like, man, if you had that opportunity to work in Memphis back when it was structured and you had Jerry Jarrett, Eddie Marlin, Buddy Wayne, Mr. Coffee, you know, Randy Hales and Jerry Lawler, when you had that hierarchy that was monitoring over everything you did every Saturday and Monday and every town you went into, you know, it was a lot different than it is nowadays when you go to these towns and it's basically the inmates run the asylum, you know, everywhere you go.
Hey, Dreamy, wasn't you just talking about some people from, just like Kevin was just talking about the Saturday Night Live people who wasn't at the forefront of the show that made it. When you saying the same thing to me the other day about American Idol people that didn't win but went on to be big stars?
Yes.
Who were you talking
about? Well, I was just talking about how we don't recognize, like, I couldn't remember if Ruben Studdard won American Idol or not. I didn't know if him or Clay Aiken won because he went on to be a bigger star than, you know, Ruben. Jennifer Hudson, you know, she didn't win, but she has a bigger career than pretty much anybody that came from American Idol. So.
Right.
Yeah, I think Kelly Clarkson's probably the only one that ever actually won that did anything. Everybody else that's ever won on there didn't do anything. A lot of times it was always like that second runner-up or somebody else who didn't even get that far along.
Yeah, look at Daughtry. Daughtry came in like fifth or something like that. And to date, he's like the most consistent as far as doing concerts, tours, and selling records.
Right. And that's true. So having known that and heard that, Bam Bam, is there any questions that you might have for myself or Kevin? Or just anybody from the panel?
You know, my biggest question is, everybody talks about if you want to get to the next level, you have to have a type of it factor. You have to have something that makes you stand out. And with the way the companies are growing nowadays, with ROH, you know, having strong style, Japan having the strong style, you know, it went from strong style being the it factor to what would you guys consider the it factor today would be?
Kevin, you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, I mean, if I can answer that, I'll say what happens. You know, it's like everything. Everything goes in a cycle because at one time everything was so gimmicky. You know, you had everybody. You know, everybody was either a a policeman or a fireman or a doctor. Everybody had a gimmick, So then the gimmick was to not have a gimmick. That's why like Steve Austin and so many of these guys, they kind of got over because they were playing. So then it's like everything kind of shifted that way to where you started seeing MMA and ROH and all this stuff where everybody was just normal guys. Well, now it's, I guess, getting to the point to where that's oversaturated to where now, if you're just a normal guy, you're just a normal guy. So now it's like you've got to have some kind of, personality again. I mean, a good example would be like Cody Rhodes in the WWE. At first his gimmick was he was just this plain guy. He was Cody Rhodes. And he really was just way too plain, even though his dad was Dusty Rhodes and his brother was Goldust. He was just a plain guy, So now they've slapped this gimmick on him, and and it's kind of got him a little bit more spotlight, TV time, and attention, and things like that. So I mean, it all just kind of goes in cycles, really, as far as it. One minute you go this direction because nobody's doing that, and then it's almost just like fashion, when somebody's got the new hat or pants or shirt and nobody has it, everybody wants it. Well, then once everybody gets it, well then it's out of style, it's out of fashion. Everybody wants something that you don't see nobody else wearing now.
Right.
And see, I'm glad you said that, Kevin, because now if everybody's going back to the gimmicks, then it kind of comes back to us new school guys of all the old school feels that, you have to have certain types of gear. And back in the day,
I would be really surprised if it ever gets back to the days of just being gimmicks, like Big Boss Man and Kamala and, things like that, now it'll have to be a slightly more realistic gimmick to a degree, at least on a national scale. I mean, you always in these small towns, you'll see your really outlandish, over exaggerated gimmicks, but I would be really surprised if you see it back on a large scale like it was when guys had pets and and they dressed like a Mountie or something,
Right.
But you are talking. But this is coming from a guy who loves gimmicks and loves to create gimmicks, and actually, created,
right.
the Christmas creature and put, Kane, in the Christmas creature when he first started and things like that. And if anybody's really familiar with what we do with Wildfire, I mean, for the most part, everybody, has a gimmick, even if it's not an over the top gimmick. To some degree, everybody has some kind of little something that just kind of helps them stand out a little more than the next guy, or I mean, even like I said, even if it's just something kind of toned down, but at least it's just to where everybody kind of has their own personality, really more than anything.
Right.
Based on what you just said about you would be surprised if they went back to over the top gimmicks. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. Not based on what I've been seeing, like with some of the stuff that's coming through WWE. One guy, like, the Rosebud, they got a whole group of characters carrying this dude out to the ring every night. I mean,
yeah, but the thing about that kind of character is that you would see that stuff in real life, like in some large city, like at clubs in a rave. It's different just to be some guy. Hey, I like to party and whatever. But the days of seeing, like Mantar, somebody walking out with a big bullhead on their head or something like that, I don't see that you'll see that degree of gimmicks. I just, like I said, something like Rosebud, a little toned down, Fandango, it's a gimmick, but it's toned down. It's the kind of stuff that it's a little bit more believable than, like I said, the days of a Paul Bearer or something like that,
See, back in the generation era, you had the Undertaker, you had a Taxman, you had an Indian, you had cowboys, you had the rappers, you had the country music star, you had the, like he said, you had the Mantar, you had the rock and roll player, you had the rock and roll guys, you had the heavy metal guys, you had you had a
garbage man back then. Back then, man, when you guys were y'all had a garbage man, y'all had a drummer,
right.
y'all had a hockey player. I mean, there was all kinds of over the top.
Yeah, we had the baseball player.
We had a baseball player. You had a clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't have all that now. So I'm assuming that Bundy is trying to think in his mind who or what interesting thing or idea that he can come up with that would get him more recognition and notice more for a possible position, to possibly put him in a position to get hired by one of these other companies. Is that right, Bundy?
In a sense, Mo, that kind of is, but it goes back when I was talking about the gimmicks. Pro wrestling's been around for years and years, and so many gimmicks have been done to the point that just about every gimmick has been done. So you have a new school wrestler like me come in, I'm fresh to the business, I pick a gimmick up, and automatically I'm a knockoff of somebody.
Right.
I'm not given a chance.
The one advantage that you have is that you've got size. You've got height, and you've got size, which that alone can be a gimmick. That's one of those kind of gimmicks where you can get by without having to do anything just outlandish and over the top.
Right.
It's almost one of those things where it's like, just how Mabel used to be. Mabel's height and size was just a gimmick all in itself. You just didn't see that. And then somebody who could move like that. Even though he had so many different characters that he played at the time, but the thing about it is, he had that it factor because of the height and the size, and you could slap anything on him, or you didn't have to put nothing on him, and he just had that look just in and by itself.
Well, here's the thing, Bundy, and I don't know if Kevin or Oscar or any of the other guys would agree. Here's the thing about the whole gimmick idea. I think that independent wrestlers need not focus on trying to create a character. I think what they need to focus on is being natural when they pick up the mic and talk, being natural when they work inside the ring. Because a lot of times anyway, you're not going to make a name. You're not going to make a name for yourself as Bam Bam Bundy. This is just my opinion. You're going to make a name for yourself as being however damn tall you are, 6 foot, whatever that is, 300 and some odd plus pounds, that can move around in that ring, left to right, up and down, and that when he picks up the microphone, can make people want to buy a ticket to come see him. It's not going to matter, just like Kevin said, Nelson had that size, he had that presence, and though they put him in all these different characters, whatever it was they put him in, he had the ability, the talent to play whatever it was that they put him in. So
exactly.
the object is your first benefit, Bam Bam, is that you're taller than 5'11". That's your first benefit. If you're 6'1" and higher, you got a better chance of making it in the business than somebody 5'11" or 5'10". Number one. Number two, you're heavy. Now, if you can take that heaviness with that height and tone it up, you know what I mean? Because we're not in the King Kong Bundy, we're not in the Bam Bam Bigelow age of the business, except maybe in other places as far as if WWE is your goal. But you take that size and you trim it up and you tighten it up and you work that part out. But most importantly, with that height and that size, your in-ring ability is what's going to catch somebody's eye. You can be 6'10", 500 pounds, and clumsy as hell, and nobody's going to want to even see you. Nobody's going to want to give you a chance. Stumbling all over your feet in the ring, nobody's going to care about your size. You can be impressive, with size and everything, but if you have absolutely no movability, in the ring, nah. You shooting yourself in the foot. So you take that size, you take that height, you tone it down, and you worked on your in-ring stuff, you worked on being impressive, not doing 15 moves because it's not needed for your height and size. Just come up with one or two explosive things that you can do that makes people go, wow.
Right, and, I tell guys all the time that, like, first of all, like you said, your foundation has to be just, knowing how to work, knowing when and what to do in the ring. Just like he talked about Doink the Clown. If they hadn't got a guy like Matt Bourne, somebody who already had just natural technical skills and knew how to work in the ring, that character would have been dead in the water when they debuted. If it was some guy who couldn't work but was just a clown. But the fact that, man, you balanced it out by saying, okay, here's this over the top clown character, but man, this guy can kick ass. Balance it out, same way how Adrian Street used to be back in the day. But I tell guys all the time, it's like, you can't just slap a character on anybody. They have to know how to pull it off. Just like with The Undertaker, you couldn't have just gave The Undertaker to anybody. If they couldn't have pulled it off and made it believable, it wouldn't still be around, 30 years later or close to it. And I tell guys all the time, like, you have to know, like, whatever your character is going to be, whether it's a gimmick character or even if it's just a character, you need to know it and own it. No different than if you were going to play, if somebody came to you and said, hey, I need you to be Frankenstein for Halloween or in this school play, you automatically know in your head how Frankenstein walks, how he moves, what he does and what he doesn't do. And you need to know what your character would do and what he doesn't do so that you don't do anything that's uncharacteristic of that guy. I mean, you never see Frankenstein like bending his knees and running or moving fast. There's certain things when you think of certain characters, what are their personality traits, and that's what you need to do when you say, hey, this is the character I want to be. What makes this guy, what's his personality traits? What does he do and what does he not do? And then you need to just be in the mindset to stick to that whenever you do something so that it don't fray from whatever the character is, and that's what makes it believable.
You have to bear in mind, guys, that whatever your name is, whatever character you create, and you can spend years creating it, if you go to WWE, they're going to change it anyway. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just the way it works. So you might as well just work on everything else instead of trying to develop yourself into something that's probably going to get changed if you make it in the big time anyway. So with that being said, guys, we got to wrap it up here because we got like 3 minutes left. This is the fastest 2 hours in podcast radio. I want to thank everybody for coming and making another seminar fantastic. I think these things are great. They're informative. You guys that come on here, you participate. You ask all the right questions. Your stories are fantastic. Kevin, I don't have the words, man. Thank you. You have been another great informative guest with a lot of knowledge as far as, the wrestling monarchy family you belong to, what you're looking for as far as a promoter. Mo, you just the man when it comes down to be. You just need to get you a pointer and go on tour and be an instructor. Joe Moore, you can't have my wife get the hell off my radio show. Don Bundy, thank you. Everybody, thanks a lot. We're going to let you guys go because we're going to take a couple of minutes and wrap it up, talk about what's coming up next week. Next week, we are going to
Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next week, quickly, we are going to be broadcasting live from the site of that Michael Jackson tribute at Roosevelt High School. Dream Mimi, we're going to be broadcasting live. Where are we going to be exactly? Do you know?
Roosevelt High School on 25th, right off of Harrison.
Is it a baseball field or a football field? Because somebody asked me that today, and I didn't know what to tell her.
Well, it's like the football field of the high school, the whole high school ground. They have all of that area set. It's going to be set up with a main stage, and then they're going to have vendors and also like food places set up. So it's going to be pretty big because the grounds themselves are large.
Oh, okay. Wow. Is it really that big? Is it really that big? It's going to hold all those people?
Yes. It's big.
Okay.
1 minute.
All right. Well, guys, hey, we're looking forward to it. We're gonna when we come back, Thursday after next, we're going to let you guys, well, we're going to be back Thursday, but Thursday after next, we're going to let you guys know everything that happened on Saturday. We're going to let you guys know how everything went. It's going to be business as usual. We've got one more week. Well, we won't be doing our seminar next week. I think it's the last show of the seminars.
Next week? Yeah, this is the last one.
Yeah, the last seminar. We're going to have another one of these seminars probably in December or January. Dedicate the month to indie guys. I'm glad we had the idea to do it. Thanks a lot, everybody. Back Your Mama's radio show. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Love you, Mo. Can't wait to see you.
Love you, Mimi. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, yeah, man. Bye, man.
Well,